till we hear our theme music. Oh. Hey everybody, this is Gio Benedetti from Dragon. I got a stormtrooper mask on today, so I don't know if you can hear me that well. We're gonna draw a dragon. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a dragon with a friend, and it's just really hard to talk in these things. But hey, anyways, should be great. Oh, see you later, and don't forget to always sleep. And wow. That was not helpful at all, Puppet Geo. Take that helmet off, buddy. Good golly. Hey, everybody. Gio Benedetti here with Draw a Dragon. Good thing I don't have a Stormtrooper helmet on in real life. Today, we're going to do Drawing a Dragon with a Friend. And we had a poll last week for things to draw. And the vote today was for a dragon with a friend. And the vote for tomorrow was for watercolors. So if you guys have watercolors at home, we're going to do some watercolor painting tomorrow. And I thought it'd be cool to paint the thing that we drew. That was my first idea. But I don't think that's the way to do it. I think tomorrow we're going to do watercolors, and we're just going to do watercolors tomorrow. So don't worry about, we can color this one however we want. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you want to color this, that's fine. But I think it'll be way smarter tomorrow to do a watercolor thing where we just like play around with watercolors and of course dragons. But that's not today. Today we're doing a dragon with a friend. Okay, this is where I'm going to need your guys' help. What is the friend that this dragon is going to have? I have an idea in my mind, but I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. But I'm not going to unmute you because then the chaos unleashes. Oh, don't worry. If you don't have any watercolors, doesn't matter. Get your markers, get anything, get any blending colors like pencils or crayons or whatever. So, yeah, go for it. So what, another, Molly, another bunny dragon. So what's the friend? What friend are we going to do with our dragon here? As I have my pencil, my paper, and my eraser. Dragon with friend? Anybody? Anybody? A goat. Nice, Aaron. Goat friend for the dragon. That would be a hard friendship for the dragon to maintain, I bet. It would just look so tasty all the time.
I think yesterday you had someone say like alligator.
Oh, yeah. So someone said alligator dragon yesterday. That also wasn't my idea, though. I'm going to show you guys my idea. Okay? Here's my idea. This is a theme that I come back to over and over and over again because it combines a lot of things that I love. Lizard dragon, bunny dragon, troll, tiger, sheep, or frog dragon. I like all of that. I really do. So when you're hanging out with your friends, what do you guys do? What are dragon and friend doing? Okay. I'm just scribbling down here to kind of set a scene. Sometimes I scribble until my scribble looks like something, and then I draw whatever it looks like. So this looks like hills to me, and it looks like a tree branch. And it looks like a tree branch to Stella. So maybe they're sitting on a tree branch. So you guys, this is just, it could be anything. It could be anything. Here, okay, let's go with this. Let's start in your foreground. We're going to have a nice, beautiful scene here, okay? And we're going to have, here we go. This is our foreground. I'm just going to make, and I had it swooping down here to make like a little hillside. So like there's like a little hillside coming down. Okay. And then I had like another just little thing over here. That's like a hillside behind the front hillside. I like trees. I like the idea of big, gnarly, bushy trees. And I think that my dragon is going to be hanging out with her dragon friend, or her friend who is not a dragon, but is definitely her friend. And she's going to be just here in the foreground, but I want her to be hanging out underneath this big tree. And the tree is going to sit like right here, okay? So I'm going to do a quick do and a don't, all right? Here's the don't. Here's your hillside, okay? Here's the tree. Now the tree is like sticking up from the very top of the hillside, and it's just stuck up there. You push it, it's going to fall off. Don't do that. Here's the hillside. There's the back hillside. Now here's the tree. Look at that. Now the tree is like on the hillside. And then you have to erase this line, okay? Or just color in your tree. So this makes it look like the tree is either sitting on top of the hillside, but like precariously, like it's going to tip over, or it's behind. I want it to look like it's on the hillside. So to make it look like it's on the hillside, you have to come across that top. That's why my tree over here that's going to be all gnarly and bumpy is coming over the top of this hill. And I'm going to have some roots stretching out. Okay. Some good old, big old gnarly roots coming down. Maybe they go like up the tree trunk. Maybe another branch comes out here, over up here. And then, oh, you know what? Maybe this is like almost like a weeping, not like a weeping willow, but kind of like it. So the branches are going to like come down like all big and shaggy. I'm going to do big shaggy leaves. Sometimes I do like more like lollipop trees where they just kind of like come up and then they have like little thing on them like that. Nope, that's not what we're doing. This is going to be hanging down leaves. So I'm going to have these hanging down bits coming around all over. And it's just going to look just little hangy downers. Hangy downers. Some of them are going to be by themselves way down. Some of them will be up here. But think about how many different layers of hangy downers there would be. Whoa, sorry. I went way off the extreme edge of the page. Let's get that. I'm going to play it 3 times in a row.
Extreme edge of the page.
That's how extreme I was.
Extreme edge of the page.
One more.
Extreme edge of the page.
Not only was I on the extreme edge of the page, you guys couldn't even see it. Okay. So these hangy downers, I'm doing like, there's a row that's like here. Okay. And then behind that, I'll do like a few more. I can't draw every single stick and twig on a tree. That would be an art project that would take me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and days and probably weeks. It's possible. People have done it. But not me. So I just sketch what I think would be like a cool, shaggy looking tree. Yes, Lucas, that's a great. Lucas has a cool thing in the chat, and other people have been putting great ideas. They should be eating sheep. And it would be funny if they were eating sheep together, and if one of them was a sheep. I agree, that would be hilarious. And a lizard dragon friend would be great. A horse would be great. Frilled lizard dragon, just hanging out, talking with trees. Talking with trees, talking with friends. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so here's my idea. All right. Now, dragons are huge. This giant shape that I'm drawing here, mine is gonna be very lighthearted today. Okay, I'm going for a very lighthearted drawing today. Maybe that's a little too big. That's too fat. This is gonna be the body of my dragon, and my dragon. I got to erase that top line there. Okay, we're going to just start with this little circle down here. Because our dragon is going to be relaxing under a tree, just hanging out, reading a book, maybe. Or just sleeping, maybe. I don't know. And then there's going to be a friend. We'll put the friend, a smaller friend, on the belly of the dragon, maybe reading a book. Something like that. Okay. Maybe a croc dragon. You could, if you want to put another like little croc buddy down here, you could have another croc over here or something. Okay. So here's the body. Here are the lines that I'm imagining to turn it into a 3-dimensional shape. Okay. This is the end where the tail is going to come out over here. Okay. And then it's going to be curling all the way back here to where the neck would be. And then the neck is going to be coming up here, up the tree. That's my plan. How is it going to work out? Oh, you guys, buckle up. Who knows? There's going to be a lot of erasing going on. That's all I know. First thing we're going to do, these big back legs. So, you know, I'm getting a little too sketchy to be showing anybody what I'm doing. If you guys want to follow along, I better do some actual erasing in here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. My circle is still too big and chubby. I don't want my dragon to be that big. A giraffe? That's a fantastic idea. Somebody put a giraffe in there for their dragon's friend. Okay. You guys see how I curled this neck so that it follows the same basic curl as the tree? If you want to make it look like the dragon's neck is leaning against the tree, there's two things. One, make sure that the dragon is following the same basic curve as the tree. That's one really important thing. And then in the chat, does anybody know the other way to really make it look like this thing is sitting right on top of this thing behind it? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Put it in the chat if you know. Okay. This neck is going to keep going around and it's going to curl up. It's going to come all the way around up here. And then there's going to be a head. So here's my dragon's head. Okay. Here's my little ice cream cone shape for the head. And here's the neck as it curls back. I'll show you guys. Here's the other way that you show that this dragon's neck is against this tree. Watch this. Oh, Jill Stevenson for the win! Send her a trophy. Can I send you a trophy? Let me see. I'm going to pause the drawing for a completely ridiculous attempt. Yep, I can. So now I just found out that I have access to all of my emojis, and I don't think I have my favorites saved for the trophy. So I'd have to go in, and now I'm scrolling, looking for a medal. There's a trophy. Okay, I'm sending a trophy. There you go. I just sent a trophy in the chat. That's for you, Jill. Cool. Now watch. Here's what we're going to do. If this is the back line of the neck, okay, right here, it's leaning right up against the tree. So let's put a shadow right there. It's going to be really close to the neck, right? Because look, it's leaning right up against it. But it's also a really thick, fat neck. So it's going to leave a nice deep shadow under there. Okay. And now here, it's still following it, but it's also kind of curling away. So the shadow is going to get a little bit longer, still following, and it's going to have to follow the shape of the tree as well. But if I put that shadow on there now, now it is leaning up against that tree for sure. All right, so here's my dragon's head. Weird little wedge. Here's that curling neck that's following my tree. Okay, and now there's a body. Not so much of a giant poof for the belly. That's much better. Much better now. Okay. Here's my belly scales are going to come down like this. And they're going to widen out following my curve, and then they're going to disappear over here. And down here, is where we're going to have a big old dragon leg with a big old kneecap. Here's the other part of the dragon leg coming down. And then here's a dragon foot. Okay. You guys see these little shapes that I'm building? I want to make it look like my dragon's foot is kind of coming down the hill. Okay. And then over here would be the other leg. Maybe the other leg isn't bent up as much. Maybe it's like bent more out. You know, like sometimes you sit and one leg's bent way up, the other leg's more out. I think we were talking about this another day this week where it was like, try and make your poses so that they're not just the exact same thing in all your limbs. It just makes them a little bit more interesting. So there's my sketch for my dragon's legs. Sitting in the glare there. What? Oh, we awarded a trophy to Jill Stevenson because she guessed the reason, or she guessed how to make it look like this dragon's neck was sitting right up against the tree. She said shadow. And she was right. Okay, so there's that. Here's maybe over here. Dragon. Shoulder, top of the arm, forearm, hand. Arm on the other side, forearm, hand, and maybe right here. See how I'm doing this book? I went really fast through those arms. So I hope you guys don't mind that I went so fast through the arms. All right. But here, once you get the hand there, once you've connected your dragon's hand to its body, here's how you make it look like there's somebody reading a book. Okay. Put a line, a diagonal line, and another line. So you're just making a little rectangle here, okay? But the rectangle's at an angle. Then I'm going up and away. I'm making a big V here, and I got to follow that same angle down here. And then you kind of connect it, but there's some more claws over here because, got to grab the other side of your book. And then inside, do this side first, whole bunch of pages. And a whole bunch of pages on the other side. Now you got yourself a little book. And here's those belly scales. I got to remember what the shape of this neck is. Okay. This is not really a possible pose for a dragon because of tails and wings. And I realize this, okay? So make a little tail. You can have a little tail kind of splotching out. I'm guessing this would be really uncomfortable for a dragon to sit down like this. But this is just what I imagined in my head. So we're just making it happen, okay? And I'm going to have a big erasing party coming up here in a second. All right, now it's time for the dragon's buddy to show up. So one idea is you could put a little person right here and make their head tilted a little bit forward, and you can give them a little book. They could be having a little reading party hangout. Okay, I like that idea a lot. That's a cool one. For those of you who had other fun ideas, like maybe right over here is where the giraffe's kind of hanging out. I don't know what giraffes look like. This looks not like a giraffe. But imagine that this looked like a giraffe, okay? Because it has a long neck. Right? You could like make like a little giraffe over here, maybe over here hanging out. And maybe the giraffe. Ooh, maybe there's like another like tree over here. And it's like it's got some branches on it, and the branches are holding up a book. For some reason, this is a reading party. I've just decided it's a reading party. So maybe the giraffe is hanging out. It's reading a book with the book placed in like the perfect reading tree.
Wait, where did you put the other buddy reading the book?
Oh, the other buddy reading the book I had stuck on the knee. I had just made a body shape right there and a little head bent forward reading. So the other idea is just to have somebody. You could have, you know what? Here's another good one. This will be the final. You know what? I do like this one. So I am going to put this one back. I'm going to put the body, and that's just a little bump. And the head, do you guys see how I didn't finish the head? Because if I finish the head, if I do it this way, it looks like the body is in front of the head. Now here's an arm holding a book. Maybe a little bump for the arm on the other side. And then some legs. So it looks like there's a little person right there. Hopefully you guys are putting some fun friends for your dragon to hang out with. And then here's my other idea that I just saw. What about over here on this side of the tree? I'm going to put another big creature. But this is going to be like a big troll, and the troll like doesn't know how to read, but the troll is still friends with the person and the dragon. And so it's like trying to look like it reads, but it's really just confused and it's getting kind of frustrated because it's like, right, stupid book, can't eat it. Okay, so I'm going to draw a big head here, and it's going to be looking down. Okay. Here's the body coming down. And here's the butt. That's the part that's going to be sitting on the ground. Okay, so just starting with a whole bunch of shapes, like always. Head, big head. Trolls have big heads. Big body. Could be a giant too. I don't know. All right. And then we'll put a hand right here. Big old hand. How about it's like reading like a really small book? I think that'd be fun. A really small book. And the book, again, I start with the idea of, because it's open, you wouldn't see it as flat. It would be like part of the book would be tilted this way. Here's the spine of the book, and the other part's open that way. And then there's another giant troll hand or giant hand over here. Okay, that's what all these circles are. What does it look like when you sit cross-legged? Does it look something like this? Guys, I got to sit cross-legged for a second in my chair so I can look at what it looks like. This is the sound of me sitting cross-legged. So one foot disappears into the other. My left foot, my right foot is hanging out. It just goes all the way down. And then the left foot for me just disappears. It just disappears in. And maybe you would see like a toe or some little toes sticking out over there. Okay. Oh, here's a really good pose tip. If you want to make somebody look like they're concentrating and frustrated, this is what we people do when we're concentrating and frustrated. We hunch our shoulders. So let's put some hunched shoulders on this big beefy troll. Okay. So you sink the head down a little bit further. Okay. All right, now I've got a bunch of erasing to do, and then we're going to come back to our lovely little reading party here. And you know what? We have all this empty space over here, so you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to put like some castle-like backgrounds in there or something. I think there's going to be a castle up on like a promontory in mine. And, you know, if you remember like a little bit about how we drew that castle way back when we had somebody from the United Kingdom drawing with us as we were drawing Welsh castles. That was so cool. Okay, this is just me like putting an idea in because I know I want it to be there. And then the rest of this will be wonderful clouds. Okay. Okay. The dragon's friend. This is going to be a troll, and this is just going to be a kid. They're all having a little reading party. Okay. All right, let's regroup. Time to regroup. Where is everybody? Where are you? What's happening over there? How are you? What's going on? Are you okay? You still drawing? All right. You know what? Last time I gave a trophy just to Jill Stevenson, but this time I want to give a trophy to everybody. Okay? You know what? I'm going to send out 4 trophies for everybody. You guys have to share the trophies. And a heart. There. That was a nice little emoji break. I really think that was an important emoji break. And now that I've done that, let's have an erasing montage jam. It's getting funky. Oh, yeah. Okay, gotta fade it down so I can talk about what I'm doing. You guys ready for this? Let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Enter dungeon mode, quick. Sorry about that. Got a little insane. Whew. Whoa. All right, I got my eraser here. Let's go through and we're gonna kind of redraw and erase as we go, all right? Remember how we made a dragon? That was a long time ago. Here's the dragon. Here's like all that, here's all that tree stuff up here. The tree stuff is good to go. We're ready with the tree. Here's the dragon. Let's start with the dragon's head. That little ice cream cone shape, I'm gonna erase inside of the ice cream cone shape. I'm gonna erase my little planning lines down the neck. I gotta erase the part of my dragon's neck that ended up inside of the arms of a troll. Didn't expect that. Didn't know the troll was showing up really. It just showed up. Okay, dragon. Okay, I'm erasing all of these little planning lines and the belly scales. I'm erasing, here's that arm. I don't want the arm to have all those gobbledygook scribbles in it. Let's erase all those. Okay, now I've just got an arm. And that back is doing pretty good. Let's erase all the planning lines that ended up in my scribble tail. And the tail's coming over here. Cool. Time to redraw. That curl coming in. And then this part of the leg, here is the big thigh coming up. And this is the calf and shin coming down. This is all going to be very dark down here. This is and oh, these are like those little folds that you put in anywhere where you've got a crease in reptilian skin. It's always nice to put in a few of those extra folds to make it show that it's that wrinkly, scaly skin. Okay. This leg I don't like anymore. I'm looking at this leg now and I'm like, who drew that? Who snuck into my drawing and drew that leg?
You.
I don't appreciate it.
You.
It was me, actually, just so you guys know. It was me. Stella's reminding me. Okay, so the body is going to curl away down here. Let's start that curl a little bit earlier. And then let's draw this other dragon foot over here. I had to do a quick redraw. Okay. Okay, it's doable. Acceptable. All right. And then I got my little person here. This is I like the idea that I've got we are a big reading family and I have 2 daughters. And so whenever I think of girls reading with dragons under trees, I'm always thinking of, or when I'm thinking of kiddos reading with dragons under trees, I'm always thinking of my own daughters.
I'm one of his daughters.
Like Stella, who's drawing here next to me. Yeah.
Like me, who was drawing here next to him.
Yeah. So there. You guys can put whoever you want on the knee, or nobody. But if you're asking me, that's what I'm doing. Putting a little Stella Jean-ish character over there. All right. Okay. Come on. Erasing montage. This is our second time through our erasing montage because it's also like a redrawing montage. And holy mackerel, what's going on with this foot down here? I don't know. Time to erase it and redraw it. Okay. Sorry. It was a mess. Everything's just a mess over here. Who made this mess? Just kidding. That was me also. So let's put 3 dragon claws down. Great. Okay. Oh, I love pathways that go back through the hills. Stella did a pathway that went back through the hills. I love those. Are some of my favorite things. I'm just going to erase what's going on inside of this troll's arms. This is that big, remember, folded legs. This one's sitting cross-legged under the tree, trying to read, but he can't read, so he's just really frustrated. But he wants to hang out with his buddies, so he's making an effort. Okay, so here's a hand. There's an arm. Yes, that's a lot of trophies. Thank you, Amalia and Gabriel and Amalia. Enough with the trophies. That's so funny. I was like, as soon as I sent that, I was like, this encouraging large amounts of emojis is like the opposite of what I usually say in the chat. Gio, you're setting a bad example, I said to myself.
No, you never said that to yourself.
I did.
I've been standing right here the whole time.
In my own brain. I said it to myself in my own brain.
Well, normally when you say things to yourself, you're just talking.
Okay.
Like if I said I want ice cream for myself.
Oh, don't start just disagreeing with me. Don't start that.
But it's one of my favorite hobbies.
All right, here we go. Let's put in some details here. How do you make a dragon look like it's a nice, friendly dragon?
Can I take a guess?
Huh?
Can I guess?
Well, we got to give the chat an opportunity. If you want to in the chat, you can say, you can give me a way that you think. You can tell me. You can tell me a way that you believe we make a dragon look friendly. Cute eyes is huge. Ooh, a flower crown or something? That's a great idea. Man. Stella, what are you thinking?
I was thinking giant eyes.
Yep, giant eyes.
Closer to the
Giant eyes. Don't do the triangle eyes unless you think that this dragon just hates its book. If this is a bad book, then the dragon's like, I can't stand this book.
Or sometimes I actually do furrow my eyebrows when I'm reading.
Yeah, or maybe it's at like a part in the book that it's just like really mad at, like where the best character, where the main character's best friend like betrays the main character, and it's like, I can't believe Stacy would do that. Oh, she seemed like such a nice person. But okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start creating circular eyes right here. And then remember, the more angular and pointed, usually the more, the less friendly we think something is. I'm going to put a nice rounded nostril here, another one on the other side. And I'm not going to come to a really huge point for the beak or the tip of my mouth. I'm just going to round it off and bring it back and then curl it up in an amused smile. This is an enjoyable book, said the dragon. Okay, if you want it to look like it's got some eyelids, that's great. Just make sure that the eyelids start high and low. Otherwise, you're going to be back in the same boat where you're going to make it look mean again. Okay, so here's a little eyelid that I'm doing. Let me switch over to my zoomed in. Here's dragon eye.
Wow, that's a giant eye.
Look at this friendly looking dragon. Now, if you put an eyebrow on it, if you put an eyelid on it and you do it like this, you just turned your dragon mean, right? That's another way to make it look mean. So when you put that eyelid on, this is for anything. If you ever put eyelids on anything, really. If you start here and you start high and low, that'll make it look friendlier or sleepy. And then on the bottom too, you can do the bottom eyelid. You can do the same thing down there. Okay, so this is like, and then if you, the more wrinkles you put on there and the more little crow's feet you put over here, now look at my dragon's getting older and older and wiser. Okay. Oh, I'm an old dragon reading books under a tree.
You just watch the dragon go from a really young dragon to a very old dragon.
Yeah, I have the power of time.
5 minutes.
Yep.
Less than 5 minutes.
Make it eat gummy bears, make it eat. You guys are fun. All right, let me put my chin on there. Okay. Nice little jawline. Here's my belly scales coming out. I think I do want to put some horns on here. I like the idea of this dragon, even though it's very nice and it's just reading stories, would have some horns coming out. So I'm just going to put a horn there. Another one over here. Maybe even like a little ridge that goes down the middle. Up to you. And I love the idea of a flower crown. Like maybe earlier they were just in the field making flower crowns. So right over the top here, going around the horns, you can have like, just make like little indications of petals, and then every once in a while some little areas where the stem would be. And then we got to remember to do the same thing on our girl down here. Okay. And then we can really bring that out when we do the coloring. It'd be fun to put that on the troll also, and just another reason why the troll's grumpy. The troll, when they sent out the invitations, they're like, "Hey, let's have a hangout. What do you guys want to do?" The troll's like, "Break stuff, eat rocks." And then the girl and the dragon were like, "Hey, you want to read books under the tree?" And they're like, "Yeah, 2-1." That always happens when the troll hangs out with girl and dragon. The troll's always like, you guys want to break stuff now?" And they're like, one more chapter. They're always pulling the one more chapter thing. All right, so let's make this grumpy troll. Ooh, wait, sorry. Before we move off from dragon, the dragon's reading the book, right? So if you put the eye over here, now look. Now the dragon is very amused because it's noticing that the troll is grumpy. You guys, this is how you're going to tell the story of this illustration. Where this eyeball's going, I really like the idea of like maybe dragon is pausing reading the book because it's just so amused right now that the troll is having such a hard time. Maybe it feels kind of bad, but it, it's all fun and games. It's like, oh, sweet troll, so glad you're hanging out with us even though you are having a terrible time and don't know how to read. So let's erase that troll's head.
Troll's gonna have no head.
Okay, and we're gonna put a nose on there. The nose of this troll is gonna be hanging down towards the book. Talk about nose in a book. Big old bumpy nose. And here's where those nostrils are gonna be. Okay. And then a giant, like the those, the big bone that goes over our eyes. Trolls have that, but like really big. Okay. And maybe like it's a really hairy troll. Is it? No, it's not. And its nose is too big. You guys. Sometimes, sometimes. All right, here we go. Still a giant nose. Like literally as big as this girl's head over here. Okay. And still very upset at this book. Okay, there's my big bulbous nose, and here it is connected now to the rest of this head. Here's a grumpy mouth. And here it is all connected by a chin that's coming down. Okay, and then here you're going to see a lot of the top of this troll's head because it's looking down. And we can give it some horns. We can give it some big old troll ears. That's actually a good idea. Let's give it some big old troll ears. Just some big old wings out there, kind of like big triangles. And maybe some bumps on the head. This troll's got a bumpy head. All right, okay. These little X's, quick shot to the other side. If you draw a person from like a fantasy setting or from like medieval times, and you want to do a really quick shirt, here's a way to do it, okay? You can give them kind of like wherever the collar stops, okay? So here, the collar is going to come down to a little bit of a point, and you just do some little X's down the front. That's a nice way to do just an old-fashioned shirt. Like that's maybe where they would put laces. If you don't like the X's, you can do just little lines across like this. But if I do that, then I usually like to show where the seam of the shirt goes down also. So those are just some like little quick ideas when you're trying to put quick details into a thing. You're like, well, the troll's wearing a shirt. Those X's can be the way to show it really quick. And here's a rolled up sleeve. Here's a forearm. And here's giant troll hands trying to read a teeny tiny book. And hair, fuzzy hairs. Okay. Here's that other troll hand over here. Here's that other troll forearm over here. Here's that leg. Here's where the pants are going to end. I'm just going to make a little curve. And over here, same thing. Here's where the pants are going to be rolled up. And now I've got a troll sitting under a tree, and we got to get a nice big shadow underneath that troll. Really nice big shadow. And here's the tree that's going to be behind them all. So we got a dragon shadow going right into a troll shadow. And then we have our big tree coming up. I'll make like some little places where like the branches might be. And then we have our girl reading over here. And I'll put like my little scales, not the whole body, but just to show that, yes, of course, this dragon has scales. Some on the neck. Ooh, this tail right here. Right now, I just have, yes. Someone is asking about dragon wings. Oh yeah, Aaron, you missed the part where I said that the wings and the tail kind of make this an impossible pose for the dragon. So I did put the tail in, and I'm gonna make it look like it's sitting in some grass right now. Same with this foot and this foot and this foot. But I didn't put the wings in because that just that was not part of my plan. Ooh, yeah, this whole part of the dragon too. We can erase all these lines where there's going to be grass, and you can put nice little bits of grass up. Okay. Here's all grass where that tail would be. Maybe some more grass over here. More grass over here. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Okay. All right. We made it. It's 10:45. That was a lot of drawing and a lot of erasing. I'm always very appreciative when we do a whole lot of drawing and a whole lot of erasing, and you guys. I'm going to add one more little thing in here. Stella got my brain going on this when she said that she had made a path going back over the hills. Those are like my favorite things usually in drawings. So what I'm going to do is just, we did this when we did the dragon on a hillside, but my hill was coming down over here. I just stopped it right here. Instead of having it come across the page, I stopped it. I bent it down, and then this is all just the grass coming down, and then this is like where it comes down to the path. Okay. Still grass up here, grass. Now this is kind of flattened out because this is a little pathway that's going to go over this rise, and it'll continue in our landscape behind it. And then the path is going to come up on this side just a little bit. And there's going to be grass over here too. Okay. And now back here in my background, I make a little hillside. And this is another little hillside coming down. And then what I can do here is I can have yet again, watch this. I can draw that path coming around the corner. So now I have this path that's winding its way into the background. And what that does is it kind of leads, it's another little way to lead somebody's eye into the cool. Is the girl dragon in love with the troll? Maybe. I love that idea. Yeah, like maybe this troll. If I had thought about that sooner, Lucas, I probably would have made the troll maybe look like it was having a little bit more of a good time. This is a pretty bad time for the troll right now with its facial expression. But that is a beautiful dynamic to add to this drawing, and I like that a lot. Yeah, like maybe the troll's just really trying. The troll's in love with the dragon too, and it's like, okay, if you really want to go read under a tree, yeah, I like that too. Oh, the things trolls do for love. I'm going to add some shadows here where the light would have a hard time getting through, and everything under those arms in the book would be very shadowy. Everything under this giant troll head would be very shadowy, including coming over here. Everything under this big dragon head would be very shadowy. And underneath these arms.
Can you see my path?
There'd be a little shadow here where the book is over the belly, following the arms. Big shadows under this leg. Big shadows for this tail until it comes out here into the sun. Shadows on the back sides of those legs. Shadows really for like this whole part of the dragon that's kind of starts to curve here under the grass.
Excuse me?
Yes, Stella.
It just occurred to me, like, what if the dragon had very, very tiny wings? So this was a possible pose.
Totally. Yeah, like, yeah, the wings are there behind the troll. You guys just can't see them. That's one way I could answer.
My dragon does have wings.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, hopefully some of you guys can find a way to put wings in there. Awesome. Great. I'm not sure I'm going to get my castle. I'm not sure if the castle works back there. I got to figure out. I think it's just too big. Maybe if I find a way to make it a little bit smaller, it'll work. I like the pathway that's going back. I'm not sure about that that castle. Maybe some more rolling hills. And maybe the path. Maybe we see the path again up here. And then maybe we see it over here too. Every once in a while, you just see like a little glimpse of a path as it heads way off into the distance. That's fun. And we got our little droopy tree. Maybe it extends all the way over here and then put some clouds back up in there. Yeah. Yeah, totally. You can absolutely get down with that. This is like my little rough stuff to make it look like the bark of a tree. Color, 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 color. There's going to be a lot of green in this. This is a very springtimey feeling picture. I feel like I'm losing colored pencils. Am I losing colored pencils, Stella?
I don't think you are. I put all of them back.
Does it ever seem like there's less than we started with? Maybe just because they're all getting smaller.
Yeah.
Because we are using them a lot. All right, I'm going to get out some greens. Ooh, and I'm going to need yellow and gold. Don't ever get out your greens without your yellows and golds, you guys. I shouldn't say that. What if it's an emergency and you just need green? Then you should totally do it. Don't listen to me. This is going to be an absolute crazy coloring session because I have exactly 10 minutes and I have a lot of things to color. So hold on to your hats, ladies and germs.
That's something like it. That's something like you got that.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Light green. You know what? We're not going to do light green. We're going to start with that beautiful yellow and gold because all of this stuff here in our foreground is where these bright colors are going to exist. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this whole field in my yellow. Okay. And the dragon. Everything just bathed in this beautiful yellow light. I know you guys think I'm crazy right now. Don't worry. It's going to be okay.
I don't think you're crazy. I still think you're strange, though.
Stella just thinks I'm strange, not crazy. It's an important distinction, folks. An important distinction.
I think you're crazy right now.
Okay, I'm still going with my yellow. Still going yellow. Everywhere yellow, yellow, yellow. I'm not going to put as much on the troll, I don't think. But this dragon, for sure. This gal, for sure. This little thing over here, yeah.
That's a lot of yellow.
It is a lot of yellow. I'm not, look, I'm putting it on the troll too. Not on the super shadowy parts, but definitely on his nose. This yellow is going to be kind of my brightest color. So on a nice sunshiny day like this, I'm also going to get some golds in there. And the gold is not going to go everywhere. The gold is just going to go in different little spots here and there. Okay. Maybe just kind of on some of the more sunshiny spots is where it's going to end up. Just sketching in some real little patches of orange. And if you guys have different ideas for how you want to color it, oh man, don't you dare stop on my account. You do whatever you want. You go ahead and color. Get your colors in there. All right, now I'm taking, what do I have? This is called True Green here. Watercolor tomorrow. Watercolor tomorrow. If you guys have watercolor paper, it makes a huge difference. If you don't have watercolor paper, I understand. But if you do, get a piece of watercolor paper. If you don't have watercolor paper, get the thickest type of paper that you can find, okay? Because watercolors need to soak into something. And if you try and do watercolors on a piece of paper like you would use for your printer, it'll just sog up the paper and it'll tear it apart and you're going to be really upset. So the thing that I love about Draw Dragon is that we make it free, and then you make sure that the materials are the things that you just have. Everybody's got a pencil and a piece of paper lying around. As soon as we get into any other materials, then you start creating barriers. I hate it when there's a barrier between somebody wanting to make art and making the art. But tomorrow we're going to give it a shot. We're going to go for a watercolor day. So if you have some watercolor paints, find them, go get them. If you don't, just bring some crayons or colored pencils and you can do a lot of the same stuff. It won't be quite the same. I'm just going over my grass with this green. Okay. Whatever color you want your dragon to be, go over your dragon. I kind of want my dragon to be a reddish. Do I? No, I kind of want my dragon to be greenish too, but I don't want it to be the same green. So I'm going to go over my dragon. And you see how, because I laid down that base of yellow and orange, everything looks like it's sunny and bright. The grass is still looking green because I put green on there. But wherever I don't put the green, just looks like a beautiful, bright, sunny patch, which I really like. And I'm trying to not color so much where there would be like a little highlight spot. Cardboard, no. And the only reason why cardboard is awesome for ink. You can do a lot of really fun stuff with ink on cardboard, but it doesn't work so well for watercolor because watercolors are very delicate colors. They don't, it wouldn't be able to change the color of the cardboard. As it's white cardboard or white cardstock, then yes. But you need something that's white and can absorb a lot of water. But not like a paper towel. That's too absorbent. All right. Okay, now I've got a green dragon on a green field. I got to start making indications of where the dragon stops and the grass begins. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, I have a grass green, but I also in here somewhere have a dark green. And this is going to be my favorite. Yeah, Bristol board is okay. The best, oh, the best, oh, the best would be if you have watercolor paper. And I know you probably don't have it just lying around. It's a specialty item. But it's basically just like, it's a heavy cotton paper. I'm going to take this dark green. And because we have this big tree that's hanging over everything, I'm going to make shaggy shadows all over this grass. Okay. And then of course I'm going to make dark shadows all over underneath where the dragon is. So where the foot comes in is going to be a dark shadow. All this stuff over here under the dragon here is going to be dark shadows. And then there's going to be little patches of shadow everywhere else. I want this to look like a sun-dappled meadow. So I started with the sun,
And then you dappled it with meadow.
And now I'm dappling. I started with the sun. I made it a meadow with the green, and now I'm doing the dappling. Okay, here's all my dark shadows for underneath this troll. And I'm just going to keep dappling my meadow. Still dappling. Dapple, dapple, dapple. If you really want something to be dappled, you have to sing the dapple song.
Dapple, dapple, dapple.
Dapple, dapple, dapple with my apple, apple, apple. And that's really the only real word that rhymes with dapple. Any other words that rhyme with dapple?
Tapple.
Tapple. I have another dark green here. I'm going to use this dark green on my dragon. And I'm going to put the little shadow spots on my dragon in this dark green. You know, like that cool shading pattern that we put in on the undersea creatures? It's kind of like that, but this is for when you're under tree creatures. Ha ho! That one just snuck up on us, folks. Really, we didn't plan it. That just worked out like that. Sometimes we get lucky. Dapple, dapple, dapple with your apple, 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 and it's a coming on time. I don't know. Something, you know. When you're making up a song, you can't worry about how it's going to go. You just have to keep making it up. Okay, I've got enough going on here. I've got enough going on here in this dappled meadow for a nice beginning. Okay,
Nice beginning.
I'll take this light green, and I can go over the hills, maybe this next row of hills. And remember that whenever you're doing hills that are fading into the background, you always fade them out as they come up to your next layer. So the top is dark, and then you always fade them out as they start to come up closer to the layer that you've got going on in front. And then I'm going to go to even lighter green as I go back, an even cooler green. Dark on the top of my hills, light as it comes down. Light as it comes down. And then all the way back. All the way back. That's not a song about dappling. I'm not going to sing that ever again. Okay. So there's my little background sketched in really quick. Still just a ton of greens. I'll do blues for the sky, and I'll do a whole bunch of greens again for my my droopy
tree.
My droopy tree. The troll, maybe the troll will have like reddish skin. That'll be fun because it'll. I don't want to make it too much the center of attention though. So if I make it red, it'll be too much the center of attention. All right, this is a good place to start. I will tell you once again, even though it's 11, I'm just going to show you just the barest beginnings of what will happen when you come in, if you came in later and you did some outlining. Because if I come back in later and I can use this dark pen to show more detail, more outlines, some of the grass, come back in and show that is a leg. And over here, I've got another dragon leg coming down. And I've got my grass coming up between the toes even. There's another dragon claw there, and now it's all the grass and the shadows. There's that foldy skin, my reptilian foldy skin.
Reptilian foldy skin.
That's a thing. I learned about it in reptilian foldy skin biology. If you want to be a real dragon drawer, you got to take specialized classes when you get to college. Reptilian foldy skin is one of them. Okay. But the thing that I like now is that these legs are just going to start to jump out and they'll look really beautiful and really, really detailed, even though we started with just like all of this scritchy scritch running around, scribbling everywhere. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Bapple. Apple, bapple, snapple. All right. I'm officially done. I gotta play some theme music to get me out of here, you guys. There we go. Hello. Thank you for watching Draw Dragon. Sorry that Geo couldn't be with you. I ate him while he was drawing dragons. If you want to support Draw Dragon, go to drawdragon.org. You can donate with Venmo or PayPal. And you can also send meat to the P.O. box, and I'll get that and I'll eat it up because I'm a zombie. Hey, that was fun drawing today. Sorry I ate Geo. That was a big mistake. But it was delicious. Okay. Thanks for drawing with me, you guys. Wait, who said that? Let me end.